Hi, everyone. Welcome again to another episode of the Serenity Show. Today I have Kelsey Padigos with me, and I actually met her through a conference that we went to not too long ago. She is the co-owner of Subterranean Coffee Boutique in San Diego, and she's actually training right now to become a clinical hypnotherapist, and I'll have her tell you a little bit about that. But first, welcome, Kelsey. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
The first question I want to ask you is, what has been your greatest struggle in life so far that kind of got you to where you're at now?
Okay, so that would be last year. I've owned the coffee shops with my husband for, at that point, it would be 6 years. And last year I was 8 months pregnant, and my mother had multiple myeloma, and she passed away 8 weeks before I was supposed to have my baby. And that was something I was not expecting, even though she had cancer. I didn't even think of the thought of losing her, because she's my mom, and you think your mom is like the most powerful person in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that was truly a turning point for me in my life. After having these coffee shops, and I always knew that there was something else that I was meant to do. And then with losing my mom, she was the healthiest person that I've known. She ate super healthy. She checked all the labels. She didn't put on anything on her skin that had parabens in it, like you name it. Like, she was super, super healthy, and she still had this cancer. And I know that it had to do with her stress. She had some traumatic experiences as a child, and she never fully got through those. She went to therapy, but she never fully developed emotionally, and it was very difficult for her to let things go and to deal with stress. And I know that that's what caused her cancer. And so from there, I made it a huge point of mine to work on my mental health, because her mother also had bipolar disorder. So I know that that's something that I need to make sure that is in check for my family, and I don't want the cycle to continue. So it would definitely be losing my mother.
Wow. And did that inspire you becoming a clinical hypnotherapist now?
Yes, I think starting from there, it's definitely part of the road to me discovering this. Just like you, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I'm all about self-development and working on myself. And then it definitely brought me here to the hypnotherapy for sure.
And in between, from losing your mom to discovering self-development, were there any limiting beliefs that you kind of held on to that may have kept you moving forward at the time?
Yes, I think that we can all deal with some crazy limiting beliefs. Like, even in the moment that you might not have the same limiting beliefs every day, but I would say I had limiting beliefs about how I could help other people. Like, who am I to help other people if I still need help?
Yeah.
And I have limiting beliefs with my relationships, that I'm not a good, or I had limiting beliefs about this, that I wasn't good at building relationships with people or connecting with people. But that is completely false. Like, I own a coffee shop for a business, and all I'm doing all day long is connecting with people.
Yeah.
And so, I've that would probably be my number one limiting belief, is that that I'm not good at communicating with people.
Mm-hmm. And what kind of helped you get over that, or as you work through it?
NLP, or the neuro-linguistic programming, is a great way to get through this, and it's along the lines of positive affirmations, just reprogramming your brain to switch the script, to rewrite your script of what you're telling yourself. So I would just affirm to myself that, yes, I am good at communicating. I am good at connecting with people. And just when you change your brain like that, you actually look for the proof of that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And what are things that you do daily now? I know you mentioned personal development, but is there a specific routine that you kind of do every day or every night to keep you in check with your goals and your dreams?
Yes. So ideally, what I strive to do each day is wake up in the morning and drink my exercise shake, and I do a 30-minute workout routine. And working out for me is huge. It is a game changer. If I don't work out, everyone else in my life, including me, suffers because it just releases those endorphins. It makes me feel good about myself. So definitely have to work out. And then I'm doing the affirmations, my own affirmations, looking at myself in the mirror, telling myself that I'm these amazing things and that, life is wonderful, life is great, I'm very blessed. And then also, sometimes I journal and sometimes I don't. It really depends on what I need that day. If I need to, really get organized, or if I'm in a time where I need to be more grateful, I will, write down in my gratitude journal to really ground down and get focused.
In terms of affirmations, I know some people may be new to that idea. Was it weird for you at first to stare in the mirror and tell yourself these things?
Definitely. I was introduced to the affirmations through this book, Mirror Work, by Louise Hayes and Louise Hay, forget. And she has you look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that you love yourself. And before that, whenever I looked at myself in the mirror, I was looking for flaws. I was like, okay, what do I need to fix? Do I need to touch up my makeup? How's my hair? Do I need to fix it? And from the first day of doing that, I was in tears. You just don't realize that I did not realize that I never really looked at myself in the mirror and said, I love you, Kelsey. And so, yes, it was very awkward at first. But then when you go through her 21 days of healing yourself, it's just night and day. And it's almost like it feels like you're falling in love with someone, but it's yourself. And it's truly amazing. And I tell everyone about that book who's suffering or who wants to feel self-love. It's just amazing. And yes, affirmations are so, so powerful.
That's so cool. I need to look into that book. I know you told me about it before. But let's go back to your passion and purpose now. So you're working towards becoming a clinical hypnotherapist. Do you mind telling us how you kind of came across that and what it did for you and why you want to pursue it, or you feel like it's your purpose now?
Okay, so through this self-development spiritual journey, there was a time when I was reading book after book and listening to podcast after podcast, and I got to a point where it almost felt, it made me feel worse, and it was because I wasn't taking action, I realized. And I know that I needed to take action, but I didn't know how to change my mind and change my framework and all of that. I didn't have the tools, and I wasn't getting them from what I was listening to and what I was reading. So I was introduced to it through a hypnotherapy session at Marshall Silver's event, and where he put us all into trance and people think that hypnotherapy is something like you can influence people to do something that they don't want to do, but you can only be hypnotized in to do something if you want to do it. So I was totally ready for this, and the idea of me becoming a hypnotherapist came to me during a hypnotherapy session, which is so serendipitous to me because I was not expecting that. And when I came out of the trance, I realized that, okay, that makes a lot of sense for me, because based on my history, based on my education, that I actually studied communication with a minor in psychology, which is exactly what hypnotherapy is. It's all about communication and psychology put together.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then just my desire and passion to help other women change their brains. I was on board for sure, and it made me really excited that this came to me out of nowhere. And so yeah, I don't know what else.
No, that's perfect. And to give a backstory to what Kelsey's talking about in terms of Marshall Silver's event, we both listened to a podcast called Mommy Millionaire, and she had a guest named Marshall Silver, who's a hypnotist, who started just doing Vegas shows, but then he realized he can use hypnotism to help people get over their limiting beliefs and kind of reframe their subconscious mind. And so and he was offering this event, so we both went to this event, and we happened to sit just diagonally from each other. Mm-hmm. And I just had a feeling like I needed to network with somebody, so I tapped her on the shoulder, and we come to find out that we were both listening to the same podcast probably around the same time. And so it's amazing what listening to podcasts can do and who it can connect you with.
Yeah, seriously. And I'm so glad that you tapped me on the shoulder.
Yeah, and that kind of brings me to the next question. How do you surround yourself with more uplifting people now that you're in this path to personal development? Not everyone's on board with that, or some people think it's too woo-woo for them. So how do you surround yourself with more like-minded people?
I'm extremely intentional with the people that I surround myself with, and that has been my life since I've opened up a coffee shop. I've definitely lost friends who didn't understand what I was doing or why I wanted to do it. So I'm just extremely intentional. And so I recently brought together a mastermind in San Diego with some other female entrepreneurs that I know from owning my coffee shop, and because I meet a lot of people. And so we get together every month, and then if any of us meet someone who we think would fit, in our group, or that we would get value from it, or if we could get value from them, we always introduce them into the group. And I think that this little hub that I have is amazing because I get to meet amazing women, just from that, and we're all like-minded. And I guess also I've been, it has been a limiting belief of mine that I am not good at female relationships and or connecting with other women. And so since I have pushed that aside into the past, and I've been really affirming that I am good at female relationships and that I attract like-minded women, and just sending that into the universe, I've actually attracted more female relationships and like-minded women. So I think it also just has to do with your brain and just being open to seeing those people appear in your life.
Mm-hmm. That's so amazing. And
Yeah.
you created the mastermind, so obviously you are really good at connecting with other people, especially other women. So that's
Yes.
really inspiring.
Thank
In terms of difficult times, I know life still brings us lemons that we should make lemonade with. What do you do to move past those roadblocks now, especially from what you learned from personal development?
Yeah, I think that it's all about, again, just reframing that situation. And instead of that mentality of like, this is happening to me, it's this is happening for me for a reason. And we all go through crazy situations and really difficult times. And I can give the example of losing my mother.
Mhm.
Oh my God, like, why is this happening to me at 8 months pregnant? She's not going to meet my son and all of this stuff. But um, on instead, I could look at, the beautiful things that came from it, and, and just be grateful for the time that I spent with her and the relationship I had with her, even during that time in the hospital. I will never forget that, and I will cherish those moments forever.
Mhm.
And because of her life experience and her death, I have been blessed with this idea to help other women overcome things that she did not overcome. So I just feel like, yeah, just reframing your brain around it and just having the mentality that everything is happening for you for a reason.
Mhm.
Even if you won't see it in the moment, you will see it down the line, and you just have to be open to um, the positive reason why it's there for you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that mindset that you just mentioned, that changed my life too, because if I look at everything that's happened, I could easily feel like, oh, everything's just going wrong or happening
Yeah.
to me. But after learning how to switch it like that, it's definitely changed my perspective and, in a sense, my life, because now I'm choosing to look at it differently and choosing actions based on that rather than being a victim. So
Right.
that's,
Absolutely. And then you wouldn't be helping the people that you're helping if it weren't for those traumatic life events that you went through.
mhm, that's so true. So the whole premise of this interview is to go to hear how you went from your struggle, how you turned it into your strength. But I also want to help these women reach their place of serenity. And I wanted to know what serenity meant to you.
To me, serenity means really being grounded with who you are. Um, I recently went to this event, and it was a self-love workshop. And that was one of the questions, and is, who are you? And most of the women in that group could not answer it. They had no idea who they were. And they were crying and they were emotional. And to me, that is just heartbreaking. And so, but I know what that feels like, and I've been there. And I think that having serenity in your life is just knowing who you are, why you're here, and how you're going to help others. And it's just having that inner peace of certainty
Mm-hmm.
of why you're here.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And like I've mentioned before, I've always asked this question to multiple women especially, and I love how every one of you have a different answer to it.
That's
So
awesome.
that's amazing and beautiful.
Thank you.
Anyways, how can people connect with you and support you, and where can they find you the most?
Well, I'm on Facebook, Kelsey Padigos, and Instagram at Kelsey Padigos. I don't have any clinical hypnotherapy stuff up yet because I'm still on the training, but after I finish this NLP program, I'm definitely going to be doing some workshops in North Park, San Diego. So yeah, if you follow me on there, then you can keep up to date with what's going on.
Nice. And I'll definitely come to some of your workshops.
Yay.
And yeah, I'll link everything below so you guys can
Okay.
follow her journey. And that way, when she becomes a clinical hypnotherapist, you guys can look to her to uncover any subconscious limiting beliefs that you might be holding on to. And so, yeah, thank you so much, Kelsey, for coming on today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And to everyone else, there's another episode of the Serenity Show. And until next time, I hope you continue to live the life you love, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.